All right, back at it again because I'm an idiot and I forgot to delete stuff on my phone. So, okay. We were talking about...
What else is new?
Whatever. We were talking about Ezra possibly being the one... He's an undercover teacher... Like, he's an undercover reporter as a teacher. If this whole spoiler thing is true with the whole him being writing a book and he's actually a writer, not a real teacher.
Regardless, he's a fucking dog.
Well, anyway. If this is true with the whole book thing... is it possible that he wrote that first article about Allison? The whole, yes. Remember when we see it in the pilot where it says still missing? Is it possible that maybe Ezra goes by an alias when writing? He, like, what was his name? Did it say Ezra Fitz?
With B26?
In B26?
I believe so. I can check it right now.
Yeah, check that out. But is it possible that he goes by a different name? Like, we see this Christopher Vale name everywhere we go. It's constantly Christopher Vale, Christopher Vale, Christopher Vale. And we did some research. We looked it up. And we know that Christopher Vale does work on the set of Pretty Little Liars. He is some kind of prop person on the set of Pretty Little Liars. And that may be all that they throw that in there for. We don't know. But I just think that name is thrown in there way too much. That maybe that's a name that somebody... is going by, whether it be Ezra, Ren, it might be a name that they're using to keep themselves protected from what they're getting themselves into. That's all I had to say about that. So, Gage, I'm sorry that we cut you off a little bit, but what's your next question?
Yep, Ezra Fitz.
That's it. Well, it just kind of stuck out, but in the last two episodes, Love Shack and last week's episode, when they're going to, like, search for A, Spencer has weapons in a hand that were, like,
yes, yes, I know exactly what he's talking about.
What do you say?
He's talking about Spencer having the weapons in her hand that were part of the murder investigation. In the one episode, she has a hockey stick, and in the other episode, she was holding a shovel.
Nice.
I saw that posted, so I know what you mean.
We talked about this in our last recap video. There is something that Spencer knows that Allison knows, and does not want Allison to let the other girls know. Or, you know what I mean? Like, there's something that Spencer either said to her before she left, whether it was she made her disappear. She's involved somehow, I'm telling you. And I'm not saying that she's the one that tried to kill her. I'm just saying I think her and Aria, I think that they were involved in Allison's disappearance. I really do. And I think Allison knows that. And I think that that's the reason that Spencer was hiding behind Emily and then made herself known. Almost like she didn't want Allison to continue with her story. Didn't want Allison to continue telling Emily what she wanted to tell her. I definitely think that Spencer's up to no good. Same thing with Aria. I do trust Emily and I do trust Hannah. I do. Like, I don't know how you guys feel, but I trust those two.
Well, apparently I have the same personality as Emily, so.
Oh, I'm fucking Spencer.
You're Aria. You bitches are gonna try to murder me.
I like Spencer.
I love
and
Spencer.
I'm dating Toby.
She's my favorite.
That's the only plus
I'm dating
side.
Paige, bitch.
That's the only...
I hate Paige. I swear to God, I hate Paige.
Yeah. Well,
but she's so irrelevant to the story. I wish she just disappeared.
As to her having the weapons in her hand, that's too coincidental.
Yeah, like that was thrown in there as a, hey, look at this. Are you freaking like clever enough to catch on, or?
But then again, if Spencer had the hockey stick in one scene and then Aria had the shovel in the next, we'd think the two of them were involved. I think sometimes we overthink things. You know what I mean? We think too much into it.
Yes, but those are pretty big.
They are.
Like, you know,
if we see Spencer with a trophy in her hand next episode, we're gonna
see Spencer with drugs in her hand this coming episode.
Yeah.
She gets into bad habits. This episode coming up is called Bite Your Tongue.
But,
so,
all right, Gage, what else do you have for us, bud?
Well, this is just, like, I don't know if it really meant anything. Maybe it was just a mistake on the writers, but when Redcoat was, like, running from the middle, the person had gloves in their hand, that maybe Cece or Allie had him on, but I just got a tough feeling maybe there's a third one, but it just seems far-fetched.
What, a third red coat?
Yeah.
I said that already.
Yeah, Sarah was
Sarah
saying
agrees.
that. Sarah
It's
was
not
saying
far-fetched,
that.
I think it too.
Sarah was saying that the original red coat is Cece. But if Cece does in fact have a twin, she could be trying to mess things up for Cece.
Is it
and then also
possible-
Allison trying to
So
be
three
in.
of
But
them.
not
her.
only that, is it possible that that picture that Ren was drawing, as trivial as it may seem, actually like is some kind of a clue into the fact that maybe Spencer is the third red coat? Because that was, if you think back to that picture, that looked a hell of a lot like either Spencer or Arya
Yeah,
that he
it
was
did.
drawing. So maybe one of them could be.
I don't know. I'm not even trying to get into the whole red coat situation right now. All we know is that we've seen Allison in a red coat and we've seen Cece in a red coat, and I as far as I'm concerned, I don't even freaking care about red coat right now, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like we've been getting half-assed answers. Like, I feel like we've been getting, well, here you go. We're going to give you this, but we're going to give you 5 more questions to add on to it.
Right.
I just don't think we're getting anywhere. I think we're actually going, we take 1 step forward
And
3 steps back.
Yep.
And we're not getting anywhere.
Yeah, yep, there they are. There's the pictures. In last week's episode, she's holding the hockey stick while in the room. And in the episode before that, when she was in the...
Why was she holding the hockey stick, and what was that from?
that was when they went to the Busy Bee Inn.
Oh, okay.
And the previous episode, she was holding the shovel inside the cabin when a quote-unquote with the hoodie was on outside the door.
On the run.
All right, Gage, what's your next question, bud?
Well, kind of about Peter Hastings.
Oh,
You may have kind of mentioned it, but when they were discussing with him about Radley, he looked quite suspicious, like he may be involved somehow.
yeah, and I absolutely agree. Like, first of all, and, granted, like, you look at everything in this show, but, like, he did suspiciously tug at his tie when they started talking about Radley. Like, it was, like, kind of some kind of a, like, how liars tend to look to a certain direction when they're saying something. It's like, maybe some kind of a, what's the word I'm looking for here?
Like a nervous
kind of thing.
tick,
like right.
when
exactly.
he's lying. I think that he knows that Allison's alive. I think that Mrs. De Laurentiis knows that Allison's alive. And I think that he's trying to help her keep that under wraps. I think that's as far as it goes. I don't think Peter Hastings is involved in any kind of anything bad, per se. But I do think that there's a story at Radley that is bigger than we know. And I think that Peter Hastings knows about it. And I think Mrs. De Laurentiis knows about it. And I think Toby's father knows about it. And I think it's a bigger picture that's eventually going to come out. And that they're going to be at the base of it. That they were the ones that knew all along. And they're trying to cover up whatever's going on. But I don't think it necessarily has anything to do with the A-Team or anything like that. So.
Mike, please don't
Go
be in this
away.
video. Just go. We're talking.
Why are you being so annoying?
Come on, go.
We don't do this to you when you're doing stuff. Go away.
Go.
All right, Gage, what's your next one?
Well, it was said it was a dream, but when Emily was talking to Allie and the Love Shack episode, she tells her she saved her twice. And when I looked back, she saved her from the barn, the sawmill, and the lodge. So I'm thinking it was probably the lodge she didn't save them from, but I don't know.
I actually think it was the sawmill or whatever that she didn't save her from. I think that I think that Cece was the one that saved her. I really do. I honestly think that Cece was the one who saved her, and the other person in the red coat was not Allison.
We need a new one.
But I do think it was Cece that saved her at the sawmill. So, take that as you will. But, I mean, you could be right. It could be the other way around. But, I don't know. That's what I think.
That's one of those unanswered questions that we haven't heard from yet. Speaking of which, I have a question to throw at both you and Gage. What do you think A is for Answers is going to tell us? And Sarah, you could comment too, because this is the
That Ezra's
final...
writing a book.
Yeah.
I think that's all we're going to get out of this season.
Because we're waiting to see if Ezra's A.
That's all we're going to get out of this season is
You
that
could be
Ezra
very
was
right.
writing
You
a
don't
book.
think that...
I did read something
about
too.
Ian, we're supposed to find out who pushed
by
his
the end
ass
of-
off the bell tower.
We're finding out who pushed it. I forgot.
Yeah, and watch it be
I forgot Ian was
Ezra.
even in it. I forgot about Ian.
Watch it be Ezra that pushed him
But,
off the bell tower.
Ooh. You never know.
He was undercover.
Well,
Trying to get a
speaking
story.
of undercover, can I tell you something that I read? I read something that said, do you remember when Arya found all that money in
In
Ezra's
his-
drawer?
yeah,
and
in
we
his
just assumed
sock drawer.
Jason gave it to him?
Right.
Remember at the same time Spencer found the pay stubs from her father and thought she was paying Allison off? What if it's Ezra that he hired?
Possible. And
As
he's
the
working as like an
investigator.
investigator. It's possible.
Maybe he is a private investigator
like-
undercover as a teacher.
Yeah, like what if it was that being
And he's just writing a book in his free
a
time.
book? Well, like he's investigating, so
Because I'm
what's-
sorry, but people that write books, I mean, unless your books are friggin' very well known, you're not making that much money. You're doing it for the love, for the love of what you do.
So we've seen that. So what if that was the money? We automatically assumed Jason with the $50,000. Nobody counted the money to see how much was there. It was just a bunch of money.
Right.
What if it was him that he hired?
Yeah.
Very well could be
Awesome.
true. There's a lot of questions, and we don't know.
And then I was thinking maybe, just maybe, like I read someplace and it got me thinking about Mrs. De Laurentiis pushing Toby's mother.
I was thinking that too.
Yeah, when she found
I
out,
seriously
being
did
pushed,
think that.
That's why Peter is so
Yeah.
set on him not looking into it.
I think I said that to Megan, in fact.
I still go with my theory that I said before about Toby.
Why would Mrs. De Laurentiis push Toby's mom?
Maybe
because
she
what's
was the
going
deranged
around-
patient.
What's going around is that they're the twins,
Or that.
Mrs. De Laurentiis and Toby's mother.
That was said, yes.
Possible.
It's possible. And Mrs. De Laurentiis was the one that pushed her.
Well, don't you think he would notice, like, well,
A
I mean, they
resemblance,
could...
unless they were,
We've never seen Toby's mother except for that one flashback, but they change people like they change.
No, but I mean, though, like, they can't be identical twins, is what
No,
I'm saying.
fraternal,
You
maybe.
know what I mean?
Gotta be identical. A twin's a twin.
Yeah, that's a good...
Which we have to go
Redo
to a
another
next
movie.
video because, we're at 13 minutes.
Well, we could actually take one more question, and then we're going to have to be done anyway.
Why you got? Is he still there?
Yeah, Gage?
Okay.
What's your
Are you
next
falling
question?
asleep on us?
Okay. Well, do you have any dead set theories on who the person in the veil was at the funeral? Because supposedly that's
Ashley Marin.
Paige.
Oh.
Paige does not have legs like that. I am sorry. That person was as skinny
Did you
as
see
could
how much
be.
weight Paige lost in the past few episodes?
I think that it was Ashley Marin, and I think that she went to the funeral because she was there when he died. I think it was her. I think it was her, not in any kind of way that's like, oh my god, look at Ashley's guilty of something. I think that was her way of staying undercover, that she was there.
Has a lot to do with this.
And supposedly we're going to end up hating Ashley Marin, so it ties in, I would say. We'll have to see.
We
I'm about
will
to show you a
have
picture.
to see. But I don't know. That's really all we can do for now.
Yeah, we got the show
got the
coming on in a
episode coming
couple
on.
minutes.
Oh yeah.
So,
Can't miss that.
You have
Nope.
to wait an hour, don't you?
an hour and 20
no.
minutes.
Oh no, mine goes on the same time. Probably you guys do. Mine comes on at 7.
You lucky dog.
Yours comes on at 7?
You suck.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
How about that?
Yeah.
I can't wait till the finale so I can spoil it up
She
for
is
all
no
the
doubt a sex
West
symbol.
Coast.
Just like Blackville.
She looks good in that picture.
Just because she plays a lesbian doesn't mean she's butch.
No
because
shit.
Look at her. She is tiny.
We're at
She's
15.
a tiny girl.
Oh, okay.